It is December, it is here, let's do the last podcast of the year. Let's go. Hello and welcome to In the Pocket, the bass guitar podcast where we get the lowdown on the low end. My name's Jonny, a totally average bass player, and each week I'm joined by a different co-host to talk all about that bass. Now, this week's co-host is me. It's your boy. No co-host this week because we've got quite a bit to go through, and I thought I would dedicate this episode to a certain topic. It's getting to the end of the year, which means there's lots of lists coming out, awards, top gear of the year, all of this. And you might remember if you follow my YouTube channel, I did the Dibblies last year, which was my own set of awards. And I decided to do it again this year, but for all you podcast listeners instead. So a little treat for you all, my lovely, lovely people. We're not doing any questions this week, just focusing on gear of the year, looking at a bit of news, and yeah, all that jazz. Oh man, it's been a pretty busy month. Like leading up to Christmas is always madness, but this year especially, here in the UK, like the Omicron variant, or Omicron, sorry, I keep calling it Omicron, and it just reminds me of Transformers every time. Like, you've got your Decepticons, you've got your Autobots, you've got Unicron, and Omicron as well. He's a really, really evil one, infecting all the people. But yeah, trying not to get it before Christmas is a challenge. Just trying to stay in as much as possible. Which, you know, I'm a hermit, so that's fine. I don't like talking to people. That's fine. I only like talking to people on podcasts. That's how I'm just going to communicate from now on. Anyway, yeah, it's been a great year for bass overall, and I've had a great year so far. And you know, I'm hoping it won't all go downhill in the last like week and a bit that we got left, but who knows? Right, let's get on with it, shall we? Let's start with the news. So the latest bass guitar news for this week. We've got a couple of new We've got a couple of new releases, and then we've also got some like top 10 lists that we'll go through from other sites before going into my own list. So first off being G&L. God, G&L have popped up so much in the news recently. They're just like trickling out bits of news over the last like couple of months, which, you know, is brilliant for me. And I really like following G&L. Now I've got 2 of their guitars. So G&L, done it again. Tribute series, nice and affordable, Indonesian made series. They've now got a fretless. It's like it's meant to be, you know, because I've been thinking about getting a fretless recently, but I've never played one, and I don't think I'd ever properly use one, but I just love the idea of it, and yeah, I've been loving their sound even more. So they're doing a fretless kiloton or kiloton or kiloton, or it's definitely not that one. Kiloton, I call it. Oh, no, there is an O in there, not an I. Kiloton, G&L. At me. Just tell me what it is, okay? Yeah, really cool. It's like a P-bass style body. I think it's the same body shape as the SB2 that I've got, which is like a bit of a more curvy P-bass. And then just with a single humbucker in the bridge. And yeah, I'm on board. I really like jazz basses and stingrays for fretlesses. I think they're the best sounding. I don't know if I've ever heard a fretless P-bass. Probably have, but they're kind of the more classic ones. And yeah, I'm on board. You can turn it into a single coil as well, the humbucker, so you can get that kind of bridge pickup, Jaco Pastorius sound if you want it. So yeah, really cool. I want to check it out. G&L, hit me up. Let's do this. The next bit of news is a new release from Electro Harmonics. Now, I think this came out this week. A bit of a weird time to launch it, just before Christmas, but literally literally just before Christmas. So it can't be bought for Christmas. Seems a bit weird. Oh well, I'm sure there's some method to the madness. It is a nano version of the Qtron. Now, for those that don't know, the Qtron is a envelope filter, which, for bass players is an absolute joy. So to have that same classic circuit in a smaller housing is just a no-brainer, really. It's something that we can all appreciate, and yeah, big fan. Other bits of news. We're going to go through some top 10 lists here and just have a look at what we think about them, because some I agree with, some I don't agree with, and some I don't really have an opinion on because I haven't played all the gear this year. I wish I have. I've played a lot of gear this year, but not as much as some people. So this one comes from guitarworld.com, and I saw this pop up because it was like the top 10 bass pedals of 2021, and I was like, oh, okay. So I told a lie. It's the top 8. What there wasn't 2 more that were good enough, apparently. Top 8. So number 8 is the Aguila Chorosaurus. I mean, it's in there for the name, really, isn't it? It's amazing. Love a chorus. Haven't played this pedal in particular. Nice. I'm sure it's great. Aguila pedals are normally great. Number 7 is an interesting one because it doesn't really fit in with the rest, and that is because it's the Line 6 Helix processor. I feel like, can you have this in a top list of pedals? Like, this is every single pedal ever, pretty much. Okay, weird. But, I have the HX Stomp. I really like the Helix stuff. And I don't really like the presets, but as soon as you get, you start diving in and understanding it a bit more, yeah, it's pretty good. So that's at number 7. Number 6 is the TC Electronic Spectracomp bass compressor. Yes, I really like this compressor. I think it sounds good. And it's only one knob. And, it's a man after my own heart. He's only got one knob. And I don't just like it because it's only one knob. It's just so simple. You do have I believe you can do the tone print stuff. So you can plug it into your computer and load different kind of presets and sounds on there, or control what the knob does, maybe. But yeah, I really like this simple compressor. I think it's a really fantastic gateway for people to get into compressors. I have a compressor always on my board. I've got the Kali 76 compact bass compressor, which is, an extremely high-end compressor. But this is a fantastic option for somebody. It's like 70 quid. Really nice and simple, and can get you the tones you need. So yeah, nice. I like that that's on the list. Didn't come out this year, but I don't think that qualifies things to get on this list. I think that's just what they liked this year. Whatever. Okay, number 5 is the Electro Harmonics Deluxe Big Muff Pi. Oh, nice. I really like the Big Muff. It's classic. I've got the Russian one on my board at the minute, which is cool. I've not played the Deluxe. I did used to have the normal Big Muff Pi, which was great, but I wasn't really into fuzz at the time. I wanted distortion, and it was like my 3rd ever pedal or something. And yeah, I didn't really understand it at the time, so I sold it. But yeah, the Deluxe Big Muff has so many more features. You've got the crossover function, you've got DI out as well, so it's really all in one. At number 4 is the Boss OC5 octave pedal. I really want to try the OC5. It seems great, and it's got an octave up option, which I think is essential for an octave pedal for me. I quite like having the option of having this, nice deep low octave. You kind of get that Boss OC sound, but then also I like pairing distortion with an octave up in like a separate chain to kind of give you this fake bi-amp guitar sound, which is cool. So yeah, nice. I like it. Number 3 is an envelope filter, which is the MXR M82. What can I say? It's a bass focus envelope filter. I have no experience with it. I don't really have much experience with. I've never owned an envelope filter pedal, only through a multi-effects. So yeah, don't really have much to say. Good on you, MXR. There's a lot of different brands in here. Number 2 is the Fender Downtown Express. I don't like this pedal. I just thought it sounded a bit bland and dry, and I don't know. I thought the overdrive was okay. Didn't really rate the compressor, and the EQ I thought was just a bit weak. So wow, number 2 on their spot. Fine. Doesn't tickle my pickle. Doesn't mean it's not good. I can only just share my opinion. But okay, cool, fine. Fender Downtown Express. And number 1, interesting, is the Dark Glass Alpha Omega Ultra version 2. I love the version, or the ultra versions of the Dark Glass pedals. Whenever a new one comes out, I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy it yet. I'm going to wait for the ultra, because I really like the option of having I really like having the option of being able to activate the distortion on and off, and the ultras allow you to do that as opposed to just having a single pedal. Alpha Omega sounds awesome. I kind of wish I had one. I do want to get into it. Maybe I should get the Omicron. Oh wait, is it called the Omicron? Their other one. Oh no, I'm going to have to look that up in a second. If it's called the Omicron, I'm definitely not going to get it. Well, I don't want it. I don't want the Omicron. But yeah, Alpha Omega, great sounding mix of like distortion and like a fuzz circuit. Really, really cool. They've just brought out the Photon, so surprised that wasn't at the number 1 spot, but I think this list is more like looking back on reviews that they've done and looking at the top ones. Anyway, that was guitarworlds.com's list. Go and check it out, and there's all the specs and all the pictures and links to where you can buy it for the best prices, etc. So yeah, a good comprehensive list. I'm a fan. I like it. Next up is another list of top 10s from ID Time Music. And this is the top 10 bass guitars of what they think are the best of this year that they have reviewed. So, number 10 is the Squier by Fender Affinity Jazz Bass. I'm assuming that this is the 2021 Affinity. I nearly got the PJ bass the other day. Somebody was selling it online, but they were selling it for more than it was new. So I sent them a message and was like, hey, I can get this for like 20 quid cheaper new. I think this is a fair price. Would you consider that? And they were like, oh, I didn't realize they'd dropped the price. No, I think I'll wait till after Christmas. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. That's fine. And no doubt I'll be buying that one off that guy in the new year. Who knows? But yeah, because I do really want to try one. But anyway, the Affinity Jazz, cool. I've heard good things. I thought the Jaguar was okay, but not amazing. But, fine. Number 9, the Epiphone Toby Standard 4-string electric jazz bass. This is the one I think it is. Then it's an ugly bugger. Yeah, it is. Not a fan. Number 8. I love this. It's just Ibanez 4-string. What does that mean? Okay, great. Just an Ibanez. Cool. I'm guessing that this is their like entry-level standard PJ bass, which looks a bit naff. Number 7. Sterling Ray 4. Nice. It's the cheapest Stingray that they do, officially licensed, and yeah, those things are great. Fantastic bang for your buck with those, so awesome. Number 6, the Ibanez Tauman TMB 100. Really? I didn't really like the TMB 100, but whatever. I don't really like the preamp. I wish they just got rid of that active preamp and just made it passive. That would be spent the money on better pickups. I think that would be a much better option. But yeah, great feeling bass and really, really fun to play. Number 5, Yamaha BB234. And they've put BB on the end again. This is a weird write-up. It's really strange. I really like the BB series. I've not played the 234. I had the 434, which was great. Really premium features for not a lot of money. The G&L, and number 4 is the G&L Tribute JB2. So it's their Indonesian jazz bass. So the competitor, G&L's competitor with Squire's classic vibe jazz bass. Kind of a mix between the 60s and 70s. I think it's got more of a 60s layout in terms of the pickup positioning. Yeah, I hear nothing but great things about those. And if it's anything to go by with the other G&Ls, God, I'm becoming like a G&L fanboy, I swear. If it's anything else to go by, then yeah, awesome. Number 3 is the Yamaha, again, 4-string bass guitar. Oh no, TRB X304. Okay, my mistake. I've never played a TRB, and I kind of want to get a 5-string one in the new year. I really like the pickup system that's on there. I think it's really interesting. So yeah, cool. Nice. The Yamaha BBs, 734 at number 2. So I'm jumping way up the price scale now with that's like £1,000 guitar, isn't it? I think secondhand they go for about 600 or 700, depending if they're popular in the market. I've seen them drop down below like 500 before. But yeah, cool basses. Active preamps on board. Nice. They look good. If it's anything like Yamaha, then they're going to be good quality. And at the number 1 top spot is the Fender Deluxe Active Precision Special with maple fingerboard. Now, I can't quite remember what this is, the Special. I thought that maybe that's what the Player Plus has now replaced. Active precision basses. I don't mind active PJ. That's okay. I can get on board with that. But just active P bass, it just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I think that they just sound better passive. I really like vintage sounding P basses with like preamps and amps, that are a bit more, give you a bit more modern sound maybe. But like I like having my simple P bass, and yeah, active P basses. Yeah, I get it with a jazz bass and humbuckers. They sound fantastic in active, but P bass is not for me. In active, I mean, I like a passive P bass, but I'm assuming that normally when they do active ones, it's a PJ, and that, because you've got that jazz bass pickup in the bridge, adds a bit more punch and presence, and so I can see how an active circuit works with that well. So nice. Yeah, fair enough. That would be a nice quality Mexican made instrument. So that was quite a roller coaster, that list. some I think are good, some I think not so good, but whatever. I like it. Thank you, Music. ID Time Music, for that list. That was lovely. So from one list to another, let's crack on with the show and get into the Dibblies 2021. Hello and welcome back. I have compiled a list of different categories for the guitars that I have played this year, ones I haven't played this year, all different categories in here, and some decided by me, some decided by you at home. I put up some polls on my Instagram story at Jonny Dibble, and people voted, and I kind of taken the most popular answers from there. So yeah, nice one. Well, let's not waste any more of your precious time. We're going to start things off with the best bass pedal. Now, my favourite pedal that I have played this year on the channel that I've reviewed is the Electro Harmonix Bass Soul Food. I think this pedal is great. I think it punches way above its price point and is a really awesome kind of like budget dark glass sound in one. When plugging it straight into my Line 6 HX Stomp, recording through my pretty affordable setup, it sounds phenomenal. It gives you that really grindy, punchy sound, which I just think is just really cool. It can do subtle as well, but it really shines when you're turning up the drive, turning up the treble, turning up the blend and going all out. It's a really cool pedal, and yeah, nice. From the best pedal to the worst pedal. Yes, there are going to be some shameful awards in this list, so I'm very sorry. And the worst pedal, I've already spoken about it actually. For me, is the Fender Downtown Express. I was just really not impressed with it. I love Fender amp sounds. I love Fender basses. I've never tried a pedal. I really like the Fender Bassman. I've got my my whole live setup is Fender Rumble rig, which I think is great, and the overdrive is pretty cool on there. And I was hoping for that Bassman kind of warm vintage overdrive sound. And whilst I think the overdrive is the best thing about this pedal, I thought the rest was just really underwhelming. And yeah, undercooked, no good, made me a bit sick. So yeah, although it was top in that other list, it's pretty low down in my list when looking back on the different pedals that I've reviewed this year. I wasn't a massive fan. So sorry, Fender. Sorry. Please be my friends. Okay, moving on to the pick players pick. So this one is, I say pick players pick. No one else picked it. It was me. But I consider myself a pick player. It's basically just the bass that I checked out this year that I thought had the best pick tone, best heavy sounding tone, because I played pretty hard. And that goes to the Jackson Spectra bass. This was the only 5-string I did an Ibanez as well. This was one of the 5-strings that I checked out this year. My first time actually owning a 5-string that I bought myself. The preamp on this thing, it's an affordable bass, and the preamp are normally the letdowns on an affordable basis, I think, when they've got an active preamp. And this one's got a really complicated preamp, and it sounds awesome. It's really, really good, and it gave you this incredible grindy low-end sound, which I thought was really, really good and really impressed me. And it's a 35 scale, so nice and tight, perfect for abusing that string and attacking it with some ferocious energy. Yeah, awesome. I don't have the bass anymore. I needed to fund something else. It wasn't getting the love it needed for me because I'm predominantly a 4-string player, so who knows? Maybe I'll get another one. Maybe I'll buy it back one day. Who knows? But really, really cool bass. And obviously it's purple. So, you know, that just wins automatically anyway. Yeah, pick players pick. Jackson Spectra. Nice one. The next category is the best slapper. And the best slapper goes to Jonny Dibble. No. The best slapper, for me, was a tough one this year. I dabble in slap. I'm by no means a great slap player. My favorite slap tones, you know, I think I really flip-flop between what my favorite slap tones are. It'll either be, yeah, I love humbuckers playing slap. Oh, they sound so good. Or, oh, jazz basses are built for slap. Oh, so good. And then I'll hear a P bass doing slap. And I'm like, oh man, like, oh, it's just something so wrong, but so right about it. Oh, just this nice growl. It sounds so good. But this year, I'm giving best slapper to my 1985 Ibanez RB960. Made in Japan. It's a beautiful beat up old bass, and it's got active pickups. No preamp, just active pickups. Both humbuckers fully on. Great slap tone. Sounds great. It's probably my favorite that I've had this year from the videos that are on my channel. So yeah, props up to you, Ibanez, in 1985. Please bring back the Roadstar series. Oh, so cool. Do it. If I want anything out of 2022, it's that. Nice. Moving on to the next award, which is the Fingering Award. Yes, you heard that right, the Fingering Award. This goes to the best bass at fingering. At fingering tones, you know what I mean? And that goes to my Gretsch Electromatic Junior Jet 2. Short scale bass, double humbucker. This thing sounds great. Fingerstyle is so much fun on this bass, and I love playing fingerstyle on it. It's so much fun. I don't think it's amazing for slap. Pick tones with some distortion sound incredible, but yeah, I really like fingerstyle. I really want to put some flats on there as well. It's inspired me. It just inspires me to play differently because it's a short scale as well. I think it really lends itself to that, and the pickup configuration, it's just awesome. Really, really like that bass. Super, super affordable. And yeah, the first one that kind of switched me on to short scales. I played a couple and not really got on with them that much. Not really liked the sound or the feel that much until this one, to be honest. So yeah, love it. Fingering Award goes to Gretsch. Nice. someone want to tag them in that on Twitter or Instagram, please send that on. Please send that their way. The next award is a very sad one, and it is the one that got away. We've all been there. Times are tough. You think, right, if I want to buy something or I haven't got any money, I'm going to have to sell one of my children, aka one of my bases. And I had to do that this year because I wanted something, and it was a moment of weakness, okay? I sold my Sterling Stingray, the butterscotch blonde one, and it's in a good place now. It's in good hands. I have some warmth knowing that it is getting loved. But it was a regrettable sell because it's an awesome base, and I love Stingrays. I definitely want 2022 to be full of Stingrays. I want a new one. I did sell it to fund the G&L L2000 double humbucking bass, series parallel switching, really interesting electronics and really cool. I thought, yeah, this is going to replace that. This is G&L's version of a Stingray. Let's do it. This would be, Leo Fender's last hurrah and his final accumulation of all these designs into one ultimate bass. This would be the one. And the neck's just too fat. It's not too fat. I love it. It's great neck, but it's more P bass. It's not quite what I want for like a Stingray sound. I want it to be slim and sleek, but still not as slim as like a modern C. Stingray neck, basically. I just realised that I want another Stingray. And I'll probably keep the G&L as well. It gives me a different flavour, which I really enjoy. But I do want to get another single humbucker Stingray in the new year. Hopefully Sterling bring out some cool stuff. So, moving on from that to a nice topic, which is the prettiest bass. The prettiest bass in all of the land. In 2021, this one actually goes to a bass that I haven't played, but one that I have gawked after. One that I saw and was like, oh my goodness, I need that in my life. Post haste. It's not going to get in my life because it's extremely expensive. Probably like $3,000, I think. But it is a stunner, and that is the Music Man Ball Family Run Stingray Special 5-string. Never has a Music Man Stingray 5 looked so good. I think they look good anyway, but they don't look as good as the 4 strings with like the different pickup design, pickguard design. But man, this one, it's all natural, incredible looking burly woods on there. Like a maple fretboard. I know it's not maple, it might be like bird's eye or something like that. I haven't got a picture of it in front of me, but from memory, block inlays, black hardware, and then like wooden knobs. Oh my god, I love a wooden knob. I've really got to stop making that my brand. It's so good. The Ball Family Reserve bases are ones that they basically make for people, and then I don't know if it's the ones that they didn't want or the ones that they didn't end up selling, or it's a very, very short run of bases, like a reject artist series, essentially, that they've designed, and they release like 4, I think it is, each season. So I think this was part of the fall range. I might be wrong there, but really, really cool. I'd recommend you go and check it out. It's nicknamed the Slugger. So yeah, give it a Google. Beautiful, beautiful bass. And from the prettiest bass to the ugliest bass, the fuggliest bass goes to, and it's a joint winners this time. It's the Harley Benton Marquez and the Jackson CBXNT. The 2021 was a good and a bad year for many. For these brands, it was a bad year because they came up with these monstrosities. The Harley Benton, just the headstock looks naff. Don't like it. It should have been a headless bass because of the shape of the body. The horns are too pokey. The bottom of it's too flat, where it should have looked like it should have had some headless bass elements, so the tuning pegs. Man, it's just wrong. it just looks so bad, I think. But, you know, it sounds pretty cool in some demos. But for me, if something sounds incredible but looks awful, I don't want it. I've said it a million times, but you gotta want to pick it up, and I just would want to put that bass down. And the same goes for the Jackson concert bass. You probably know about this bass because it's their like Rickenbacker. It's their take on a Rickenbacker, and man, they are not doing Rickenbacker any favors here or flattering them in any way, because my God, this is an ugly thing. It's like got the pickup covers, but it's a PJ configuration, weirdly spaced out pickups, and it just looks awful. Now, you might have seen that Patrick Hunter shares the same opinion, and it's the correct opinion. I said that opinions can't be right or wrong, but this is the right one. And yeah, it's just so ugly, and the colors they did it with, like this green or this red. I think there's a black one, which is the better one, but oh man, it's just so awful looking. But I did see the other day that I don't know if it was a modded one or if it was a factory one, that somebody had done like the classic Rickenbacker, like red burst, sunburst looking version of it. And that actually looked way better. And it would look better if it was just a natural finish with black pickguard on it. I think that could look quite cool. But yeah, as it is, man, the colours don't do it any favours. Awful. Thanks, Jackson. Love you. Next up is the bass brand of the year. Now, this is as voted for by you all at home. Now, it was very close this year. There was one winner, but there was one that was close seconds. The close second was Squire. And yeah, I think Squire have had a good year overall. They've released the Paranormal was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, Paranormal was last year. But they have had some more contemporary stuff, some limited run colours of that. They've released the whole new Affinity range. And yeah, it's been a pretty good year for Squire, I'd say. Probably a very popular year as well. Just looking at analytics of my videos, the Squire videos are always very popular. They're a massive name. So yeah, Squire, good on you. Had a good year. I'm looking forward to what you can do more of next year. Interesting. A lot of the classic vibe stuff has been getting a bit of a bad rap compared to the old vintage modified stuff anyway, and just for some quality control issues. So with brands like Harley Benton nipping at your toes, I would be surprised if they don't address some of that next year and bring out some new models. So yeah, always interested to see what Squire do. I want to see some more roasted maple stuff though. Come on, give it to us. Nice. Yeah, so well done, Squire. But that's not the top brand. The top brand, as voted for by you at home, is Sire. Now, I kind of didn't see this coming. Sire, I don't know if they've had that many releases this year, have they? I know they have released the 5 series, the D5 and the P5, and I have pre-ordered both of those, but I pre-ordered them in February, and they still haven't arrived. They're arriving in late January, which is, almost a year wait for £400 bases is crazy. And I know the world's upside down at the minute, and that's why. But man, I'm getting impatient. I want them now, but I can see why they got the bass brand of the year, because they're very exciting releases. But again, this category isn't necessarily just for new releases. I have been seeing a lot of love for Sire this year anyway. Loads of people in my DMs and in the comments talking about Sire and picking up their first bass being a Sire, or their second bass and being blown away with the improvement. And yeah, it's been a good year for them financially, I'm sure, just based on what I've seen, because they're just more popular than ever, and for good reason. They're fantastic basses, amazing quality for the money. So yeah, changing the game, pushing the boat out and forcing competitors to, compete. So yeah, nice one, Sire. Well done. Bass brand of the year. And that takes us on to, sorry to say, our the last award of the Dibblies 2021. And that is release of the year. So this is getting specific to an actual bass that's come out this year. So it could be the Sire, but it's not. Spoiler. The bass release of the year goes to the Fender Player Plus series. Now, it's kind of specific and not because it's gone to a whole series, but I definitely had lots of people saying that the jazz bass, the P bass, it's the Mexican version of like the Ultra range, so the highest end Mexican version that you can get, essentially, with all the high specs, but just made in Mexico. And yeah, really, really cool. Loads of really interesting colors too, and the fades, whilst aren't always my cup of tea, I think they're so interesting, and it's definitely sparked up conversation online as to what people want from Fender. And I think this is a step in the right direction, regardless of what you think of it. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody that voted. I'm going to go through them again. Best pedal of the year, the Electro Harmonix Soul Food. Worst pedal of the year, the Fender Downtown Express. The Pick Player's Pick, Jackson Spectra. Yeah, but that is it for the Dibblies this year. Thank you so much to everybody that is engaged with voting on things, sending in podcast questions as well. I love talking to everybody online, people that send me DMs about things, or all the guests that have come on the podcast. Thank you so much. This podcast has definitely been a highlight of 2021 for me. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, ups and downs, loop-de-loops, and this is definitely one of the positives. I have absolutely loved getting to grips with podcasting, and yeah, just trying to do something for the bass community that is just fun, conversational, get people involved, and yeah, I've just had a blast. And thank you so much to everybody that has shared it and has followed it on Spotify, things like that, given it a rating, and yeah, just sharing the love. I appreciate it so much. If you want to link up with me, start a conversation or about bass or anything really, then hit me up on Instagram at Jonny Dibble. I'm always posting on there all the latest things, and doing all the polls for where you can get involved with this podcast. So yeah, go and check it out. Like I said, this is probably gonna be the last one. What's the date today? Yeah, this is gonna be the last podcast of the year. So I will see you all in the new year. Let's hope that 2022 is even better. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas or whatever holiday you're celebrating this year. Have a great time and an amazing new year. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.